comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So today was the calm before the fucking wedding storm begins tomorrow. We're leaving at like 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. 6 a.m. Indian time, which means we'll be out of here at about 10. We'll have to get up at 6 because everyone will be panicking, but we won't actually leave the house till 10 a.m. That's what happens here. Everything is late. Everything runs behind schedule. People don't even try and pretend to make it on time. Everyone gives each other the wrong times depending on how much of a lazy cunt you are. And I seem to always get given some early timings, which just gives you anxiety because I don't believe the times they give me. So I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit. I'm not doing that. But I don't know what time we're actually meant to be getting out of here. So you're just a little bit panicked all the time. Even today we went down to buy some fucking formal black dress shoes for my fucking suits, which came out fucking schmick, baby. I might become a three-piece suit guy because I tell you what, I look fucking good in the three-piece suits. And my hair's making a little bit of a resurgence as well. I thought I was going to be fully bald by now. The way my hair was going about 2 months ago, it was dire. It was just leaping out of my fucking head. But now it feels like I've made a little bit of a comeback. Obviously, it's not full coverage, but I think a few new boys have pierced the fucking skin of my skull and made it through to the surface. I feel like I have maybe 80 to 90 more hairs than I had 2 months ago. That doesn't seem like a lot to people with heaps of hair. That's nothing. But to a balding man on the absolute brink of fucking baldness, an extra 80 to 90 is pretty good. I honestly thought it was the end for me a couple of months ago. I thought I was going to have to go to the skinhead shave. And once you go the skinhead, there's no returning. And when you do go the skinhead, it takes like maybe a year or 2 years, maybe even 3 years for people's eyes to adjust to your fucking head. Like, I've got mates that have gone bald, and I remember when they first went bald, I was like, Jesus Christ, you're never going to get any fucking twang for the rest of your life. And then after a couple of years, once you get used to looking at their disgusting heads, you're like, I can't even remember you with hair. You would look fucking ridiculous with hair. I like your bald head. You're still never going to get twang ever, but I like your bald head. But anyway, we were going out today to get some fucking shoes, some nice dress shoes for my suits. And I got the hurry up. I got the fucking hurry up at like 12 o'clock and we didn't leave till 1:30. That's a fairly big discrepancy. I got hurry upped. I ignored it because I knew that wasn't the fucking final hurry up, but it was a get on your fucking bike one. And then eventually I get ready. I'm ready at like 12:45 and I had to wait down there while everyone fucked around for 45 minutes. That's what it's like here. It's just everyone runs on their own fucking schedule. But it all starts tomorrow. It really gets hectic tomorrow. It's the drive to Chennai. I'm not even excited to go back to Chennai. Chennai is hot as fuck. And there's not that much to do there. People from Chennai think there's heaps of shit to do there, but there's not. But what can you fucking do? It all begins tomorrow. Boyle's fucking month from hell. Anyway, let's get to this week's Ask Boyle. I'm not too sure if this is an Ask Boyle or it's a hypothetical. I think I might call it a hypothetical so I can go. A silicon chip inside her head is fixed to overload. I'm just gonna skip to the chorus because it'll take too fucking long. Hypothetical Mondays, tell me why. Hypothetical Mondays, tell me why. Hypothetical Mondays, I wanna shoot the whole day down. Okay, so this week's hypothetical is, it's not really a hypothetical. I just wanted to sing the tune. So, big fucking Nels, big ballsy Nels from the fucking white and the red, the good old white and red Canada. So Big Balls has asked, what drug would you choose to take if you had to take it every 30 minutes for the rest of your life? with no residual side effects on your health, but you still get high, and it can't be alcohol? That's actually a tougher question than you think, especially when you take out alcohol, because that's obviously the one you would do all day, every day for the rest of your life if you didn't get a hangover or destroy your family and hopes and dreams. So if you're going to take a drug every 30 minutes for the rest of your life, but you get high, you're not going to want to take like a hallucinogenic, even though you possibly could. But when you start fucking dropping acid or doing shrooms every 30 minutes for your whole entire life, you're going to start getting a little bit high. You're going to get pretty fucking high, and you're not going to be able to operate in the world very well, even though you might at some stage level out, because after like 3-4 days, hallucinogenics stop working and you just have to pile them on. To even see some trails, you'd need to take a whole sheet of acid. So I'm going to rule out hallucinogenics. That's just not going to be manageable if you're going to operate in the world as well. The 30 minutes thing also rules out K, because you're going to be stuck in a few K holes if you're taking it all day, every day. Actually, your whole life will become a K hole. K's out. Heroin every 30 minutes. See, the only bad thing about heroin is they're actually coming off the heroin. You could just take a little bit of heroin every half an hour and just float through life. That's another point, actually. How much are you taking? Because you could microdose hallucinogenics. I ruled them out too early. Microdosing could be a fucking vibe. I was leaning towards cocaine, but now I'm coming back to the hallucinogenics, because I was thinking cocaine, it's really not much more than having a coffee. You get to rack it up. That's kind of fun. That's enjoyable. It will become a burden if you're doing it half an hour for the rest of your life or whatever. But it's still fun. You can still operate in the world with cocaine. It's not bad. And I'm not a fan of meth. Speed's all right as well, but that's more in the meth category. I was thinking some decent coke every half an hour. But now, now, I'm going back to the hallucinogens, because just microdosing just a fucking tiny little bit, like 5 mics of acid or a little bit of fucking psilocybin every half an hour, even 2 mics if you can even measure that out, that would be manageable. And maybe not only manageable, maybe beneficial. Life might start getting pretty pleasurable. So I'm going to go back to the hallucinogens. I will say I would prefer mushrooms, always mushrooms over acid. But the problem is being able to measure it. If you can measure the psilocybin to like a tiny amount, and you can take it every half an hour, that's 48 times a day, I would take the psilocybin over the acid. All right, I would microdose shrooms every half an hour for the rest of my life. I'd probably do that now, outside the hypothetical. If I could get my hands on enough shrooms and a good measurer, I would do that now. There was also someone else sent in another Ask Boyle. There's some old chooks, I think they were. This is just going from memory. I couldn't find their fucking Ask Boyle. But I think they were a couple of fucking MILFs, a couple of old cougars heading out to a festival for the first time in God knows how long. And they're not drinking anymore, but they want to hit something up. And they were asking me what I recommend. Sorry, I lost your Ask Boyle, but I remembered your question. So what I would do if I was you two ladies, I think you were leaning towards getting some Molly or some Mandy, some ecstasy, and giving that a crack, but you hadn't taken it in a long time. And that's good. That's a good idea. I would do that, but that's like 2 hours. You got to be topping up. You're risking a crash there too. So if it's like an 8-hour event or it's a whole day thing, you're going to have to time it right. What I would do, I would go the mushroom fucking acid route. I wouldn't fuck with it though. I would take a very small dose, especially if you haven't taken drugs in a long time. I would get a tab of acid and I would take a quarter, maximum a quarter, and I'd take it a couple of hours before I went in. Like, I'm only saying this because I'm remembering the question. You were like hesitant, or you didn't know what to take, or you weren't sure of what you were going to be able to handle. So just take a quarter acid, couple of hours before you go in, and then just top up as you go. If you need a little bit more of a hit, take the other quarter or take a half, Have 2 or 3 acid trips on hand though. Because the thing is, when you're taking it like that, if you do want to fucking get really high after you've taken the quarter or a half and you've eased right into it, taking the other half isn't going to get you to where you want to go. You're going to have to take maybe a full. So that's my advice to you. I'd get 2 acid trips, cut them into quarters, take a quarter a couple of hours before you go, top up as you go. If you want to get fucked up a few hours down the track, just take all of it. When you spread it out like that, you're not going to get the full effects of double dumping 2 acid tabs at one time. It's not going to be the same trip. When you spread it out, it's a bit more even and the high won't be as high. That advice is specifically for the MILFs who asked that fucking question. I couldn't find it. But for the rest of you, obviously, the advice would be a little bit different. It would be a combination of a lot of things. Anyway, that's it for tonight. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around and I'll see you the fuck later.